Recording. Yeah, okay. Just Alan standing in once more. Tina has been signed off for sick for another 2 weeks. Those that aren't aware. So Alan's holding the fort. Thank you very much, Alan. Okay, so moving on then to 34523 declarations for undisclosable pecuniary interest. Nobody showing. Thank you. 34623. Apologies for absence, please, Karen.
Apologies have been received from Councillor Anne Blackburn, David Blackburn, David Evans, Adam Mitchell, and Vic Hughes.
Thank you. To the minutes 34723. The minutes of the Planning Committee held on 12th of September, which were received by full council on 26th of September 2023. I'm happy that those are signed as a true record. Yes. Minutes. Yeah. On to our review of the Planning Committee's terms of reference 34823. To review and amend the committee's terms of reference. What have we got on this? Looks if it's up there or not.
It's not. Should be, I think.
Welcome to the later rollers. You haven't missed much, as I was going to say. So we're just looking at 34823, review of the Planning Committee's terms of reference. Has everybody had sight of it? Yeah. Obviously, the main thing for me was really with debates over the years. What is the quorum? Are we happy that that is 6 members? Yep. As you know, it's pretty much evident there. Our role as a consultee to Brecon to other planning authority. Is there anything anybody wishes to raise, add, or delete on those terms of reference? No, are we happy to? Carried, thank you.
Well, no.
Thank you. Okay, so we're on to 34923, planning application to consider. Letter A, which is Plan 0088, 10 Almond Grove, change the size and position of the doors and windows.
They've already made a decision.
Brecon Planning have made the decision, little for us to do.
Moving on, I'm positive this, they've approved it.
They approved it. That material.
They got a flat roof.
Material deviation.
Okay, so on to B then, 0253, a new external lift shaft at the Healthy Living Centre. Details reserved by condition. I understand that these were conditions put in. We want to know what details of the materials used were. They are now shown on the. Now, we were a supporter of the Healthy Living. I think we made comment about parking and electric points when it came through. And this was asked about what materials it's going to be. It's no detailed there. So unless anybody's got any objections, I suggest to just note it. On to C then, 0827 for change of use B2 to Sui Generis 1 Telford Way doggy daycare. Now, I thought we had looked at this in the previous, as a late one coming through. So I think we've addressed that one.
So all they've done is they've just provided more information. So there were some planning queries, and all that they've done is provided more information. We were supportive with no additional comments.
As long as the dogs don't bring their cars with them.
So I think we just note that unless anybody's got any strong objections. So to D then, 0884, East Anglian Reserve Force Cadets Association, new classroom block. It's up Croxton Road at their existing site. There is some plans across there. The material, sorry, I'll put it here. So set one along. It's a charcoal grey metal cladding finish to it, whereas I believe the main body of the building is all in red brick. It's the only observation I would make. It's set back from the road. There's an existing fence there, which I'm not proposing to do. I'll throw it open to the floor for any comments. None? So are we a supporter?
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing to add, further to add, just
Highways had no comments or no objections.
down the bottom there, Mac.
Yeah, this is a permanent structure, is it?
It is, yes. So as you come in off there, exit is immediately in front of you there.
It's in the back corner of that's where the cursor is, that's where they're going to be classroom.
Something's away from that. Supporter then?
Yeah.
Thank you. On to 0893, 13 Waterloo Close, proposed rear extension with rooms in roof. That's the one that we've got here. Looks as though the extension's got the main body of the building with the garage set front, and then the extension comes off the garage building. It's quite a large plot. Those that know it, up in the middle. So,
Back is over first now, I guess.
Yeah.
that's close. Existing L shape, which is the one at the end. I think the extension comes off the garage. In terms of materials, there's some cladding rather than a brickwork extension. Any views?
My only comment would be, so this one was the one that came with the quite long tree report, I believe, with the diagrams of the roots and things, and they gave quite detailed instructions of how to protect the tree. So just unclear as to whether that means they have to do that, or if our comment should be that they should.
Well, we can back that up to say that we would like to see the tree protected, specified carried out.
Okay.
Anything further? So supporter then?
Yeah.
Subject, we can just note the tree plan is.
Distracting that entire.
Your rubber bands out, boys. Okay, then on to 0908, Lotus Academy Trust, Nina Education Support CIC. This is the maltings arranged through previously used by Nova Training on the corner by the old bingo or by the bingo hall onto Raymond Street. I understand that we've got highways were not happy in terms of the volume of traffic movements that will be coming out on that bend. They've got existing pull-in there. They're proposing to have a minibus parked broadside and then taxi bays in that bit, and then there's railings to fence the area off from the public amenity space with bench there on the green. So I the floor open to comments.
That's it's not just necessarily the extra sort of building, but what actually a theme to do for sort of young children. They needed sort of shelter plus play area for them to be safer. Yeah. Seeing how it could cause extra traffic, to be fair.
I think it's because they said that the number of pupils expected there were more than they used to have under number training. I think that's a comment. We've got
The thing is, though, over training, there was all young adults, so they wouldn't have drove anyway.
no.
So,
That's what we've got for this. So I have significant highway concerns regarding the proposal and recommend that permission is refused on the following assessment. The application states that the current number of pupils is 14 and the aim to increase to 32 with 85% transported by taxi. The applicant states that the number of taxis expected to 14 pupils is 6, using 42%, using the 42% rationale. The number of taxis would rise from 6 to 14 when the school reaches the 32 pupil capacity. So that's their rationale in looking to refuse. And by that, that's just noting that I still have an objection. One supporter. Any others wishing to just comment or?
I can understand the concerns. I think the biggest change is the age of the children, because obviously this particular one, they are quite young, and so we have to be mindful of that, given that it's near a road and it's a busy area. Coming in and out of that junction around the bingo, it's got to look in every direction. So I can understand the concerns, but we also have a situation where we've got a key building in the town centre that's not being used, and we've got somebody here that wants to use it and bring it to life again. I'm not an expert, but surely they must be able to manage the comings and goings and taxis and the numbers of children on site at any one time. I suspect the numbers they're given is a maximum. I wouldn't imagine all of those children are on site at the same time. The nature of what they do, it tends to be, capped at a certain number depending on the children. And so I think I'd be inclined to support it, but to, make a comment around a really robust travel plan and management of the traffic scenario. I think it's positive it's being used, but they do need to be sensitive in terms of managing it from a safety point of view. And also, we don't want it to be congested at certain times. They need to consider staggering, those numbers of children throughout the course of the day. But I wouldn't want to just say no out of hand. I think actually the overall message is this could be really positive.
Hey, Stuart.
Yeah, I'd sort of support what Terry was saying, but that's not a concern, but it don't seem to worry planning or traffic about the bingo hall. And that's a different time of day, but there's more taxis and cars parked outside the bingo hall than what there will be dropping off kids at school. So I don't think there's an argument about excess traffic.
Okay. Yes.
Is there any comment from Alexander Court?
No. Right.
We need places for children to go to start their learning journey. And unfortunately, when we get to criticism of highways, which is quite right in highways' eyes, they can only deal with a particular location. They can't deal with the generality of needing a location somewhere. I can think of a lot of worse places to put this, which might happen if it were not possible to develop this way in the way they would like. So I'm inclined to say we accept there are problems with access, but it's a desirable thing in itself, and we do need places for children to go at this age. We live in a society where parents need to work and need a proper start in life. So I think Terry's covered the way around this. I very much
and just make plans put in place to manage the movements of pupils. Thank you. So then on to 0909. This is the listed building consent, which for those not familiar, we've got a listed building. You tend to have the two applications, one for general planning and one for the listed building. In this case, the envelope of the building has not been changed in any way, apart from railing being put in on the access. So I would suggest that we just support up in that respect. Thank you. So then on to 0932. For a first floor terrace balcony at 3 Brandon Road. There's an illustration on the board there. First floor balcony on a roof. The next door neighbour has a second floor balcony coming out from the loft space, but he's chosen to go one down. It overlooks the grammar school. For those not familiar with places, that as you turn on the Chase traffic lights towards Brandon, immediately on your left there's two.
That's the second house.
That's second house. In this case. Yeah. So in terms of visibility, it's only visible from the rear. Suggest there's nothing too contentious there. Unless anybody with supporter. Yep. Thank you. On to 35023, lake planning applications. Have we got anything on? Nothing in front of us tonight then. 35123, decisions of variance. Have we got anything that you want to wait?
I don't get those emails, so.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to note those, or we can do a lot about them anyway. But, so 35223, items to be referred to the Greater Thetford Partnership. Got anything today that we wish to forward? Then on to 35323, committee membership changes for the Merrill year. This follows on from our changes that we proposed at full council. This one is to consider request by Doug Jefferson to join Finance Committee for the remainder of the Merrill year, and consider requests from Doug to resign from Amenities and Stuart Terry to resign from Finance. Happy to agree those changes to membership. Okay, so those are carried then. Thank you. So 35423, agreed sending a letter to Brecon Council to renew the public space protection order. I'll just hand over to Mac where we are on that and what we need to do.
So is everybody quite happy they've seen that letter? Do you need any explanation on it? I'm quite happy to if you need. Okay. I'm not going to push it. Just that it does need re-looking at every 3 years, which is such a pain in the backside. And of course, it's an opportunity for any council to ditch stuff that's costing them money, and the PSPO does. Interestingly, once you start looking for them, go to Windsor, go to Eton, go anywhere, you'll find PSPOs in for a variety of things. And on the news today, Norfolk were talking about antisocial car meets, and they're going to tackle that with PSPO orders. So that's it for me. I won't try and hard sell it anymore.
Chris.
What's the procedure if you want to expand it?
So every part of the PSPO has to be, you can have a PSPO, is interesting. If you wanted, you could have one about dog walking. You could say that in this particular area, we're going to ask for a PSPO, say dogs must always be on a lead. You could do that, and they are doing it in some places. But every single addition that you have in there, you have to ask for, and then it has to go to consultation.
Because I'm just wondering about it's like ASB that's going up the Fir Road, Fir Walk area. Yeah. And then asked for some PSP possibly to be expanded to take that out.
So the difficulty, and I did challenge this when we first did it, was that we used to have designated public place, which covered the centre of town. There was also stuff like Pine Close, a little bit over, so there was other dots. That was too difficult for them to manage, so they consolidated it and closed it in. What we couldn't do was to draw a big circle around Thetford. Wouldn't have that. So we had to have a defined area and a reason why that area was as it was. That's why the outlying areas didn't end up with PSPOs on them.
And the other thing, the CPN, what is that?
Sorry, come.
The other thing, the CPN one?
So the community protection notice, community protection warnings are the things that the police can give if you've got a public space protection order. So if you want to escalate up through, I've seen you drinking, is a warning, I've seen you drinking, is a notice, I've seen you drinking, now I can take you to call. That's how it goes.
You have to have one where you get covered.
You have to have a PSPO to be able to do that. If we didn't have a PSPO, the police wouldn't have those powers. And we would be back to where we were before.
So there's no chance of getting extended out.
If we did, we'd have to put a case forward and it would be renewed. It would be a new PSPO.
I'm quite happy to support this. I was particularly pleased to see reference to CGL in the letter, Change, Grow, Live, which, for those of you that don't know, have the Norfolk County Council contract to deal with drug and alcohol issues. We've seen, if you think back to 5 years ago, there are significantly less organisations in Thetford to support people to get off drug and alcohol addiction. You know, I remember Norcats being down the bottom here. We had a youth service. We had all sorts of different people. The contract that CGL have is, in my view, completely insufficient for the demand that there is out there, frankly. It was a real bare bones type contract. CGL got the contract, but you know they're not paid to do very much, frankly. So I think building that in and making reference to that is really important, because we can arrest people and fine people as much as we like for drug and alcohol addiction, but unless we stop them being addicts and actually break that cycle, we're just going to keep going round and round and round. And the big missing link amongst all of this has been the preventative work, which Norcas, the Matthew Project and people like that used to do, but not doing. CGL were doing some of it, and I was really pleased to see that lady at the stag meeting that I came to, but it's so small scale compared to the size of the challenge that we have in Thetford. So by all means, we need to renew the PSPO, but we've got to start making noises at Breckland and county level about investing in the preventative work, because we're not addressing the challenge.
I think Terry makes a really good point. Yeah, it's been clear to me over many years, we can't police our way out of a problem. And what's made it worse is the fact that our welfare service has shrunk so much that the police are just left with the end product that they're trying to deal with, which is really unfortunate. So, you know, when we're asking for police to be doing their policing, they're actually after people's welfare, their mental health, because they're on drugs, they're drinking too much, and they're partaking in antisocial behaviour. So it's a real vicious cycle, and the PSPO is only a small part of dealing with it. It certainly isn't a silver bullet in this case. But I think without it, we're just taking a retrograde step. So thank you.
Okay, so happy to support. Thank you. 35523, update on the clock tower zone. You've got, I think this is just a matter of we've pretty much got to approve this expenditure because we're stuck really. I think, but
I think to put into context is that we're trying to get the surveys done so we can decide what to do with the two copulars. We've already started to mobilise the surveys. I've just come to this particular meeting so that the committee's aware of it, because I would hate to come right at the end and say, well, I've just spent money, I don't have delegated authority as it stands. So what we've got at the moment is we've commissioned MPS to do a survey, and we've, subsequent to doing the agenda, we've engaged again with the heritage architect, who for about another £1,800 will actually kind of provide us advice and then enable us to decide on the final step. I mean, the whole objective of all this is to see if we can get the scaffolding down, because for every week it stays up, in a short period of time, we pay about £1,000. So that's really what we've done. And all I'm asking for is just not a blank check, but the wording of the agenda item is to say, what is the upper limit? We've got £4,188 excluding VAT. We're going to have about another. The architects have quoted us
1,800.
I think it was about £1,800 just to do their work. And it's just a matter of if there's any other contingency. So do we limit it to 7,500, 10,000? The town clerk at the moment has authority to incur £10,000 just in case there's some things that come up. We have to make those decisions. So it's really, I am asking for a blank check, but also trying to put some safeguards to the council so that I don't come back and you all have a shock.
So would it be relevant if we went to 7.5? That would allow you to carry on doing what you need to.
It would, otherwise we have
because we will have a full council meeting at the end of the month anyway.
Yeah.
But just to keep them going.
I would just say to suggest we make it slightly higher because I just think I'm ever so conscious of the fact that we need to make quick decisions on this. I would respect the way it sounds you have to move before council, but I think the worst thing we can do is get ourselves into a position where it's a week. A week is 850 quid or something thereabouts. So to be honest, I think we need to be in a position where you respond very quickly. And I personally think, if you think numbers, it seems that a slightly higher number would be better because my gut feeling is the way this happens is this will lead to something else that needs to be done and another little admin fee. And the last thing I want is the one of £100, £200. We end up covering nearly £1,000. That would be just something I'd suggest.
So any other further comments? Do you want to make a proposal with a revised amount?
Sure. Should I propose 10,000 as a?
Do you have a seconder, please? Yep. All those in favour? Did you get those, Karen? Yep. So, there you go, Alan. Blank check. So 35623 community engagement. Is there anything we want to shout about? Obviously, PSPO, do you want to make any more comments about that from our perspective?
I don't know if it would help any if we say that we have sent a letter in. I think it would probably be helpful if it's successful when we can say we're delighted to see that it's successful after we put a letter in. It might be a bit divisive if we put it in and it doesn't get through. Actually, on that, the last time this consultation was done, the whole run of it only saw 40 votes put through the consultation. We're over 50 now and it's past halfway. So in terms of we've done better than we did last time, we have. Still not great, consultations are rubbish, but we're on touch wood, but hopefully in a better place.
Happy with that? Yep. Okay, so then we're on to committee officers update. Anything?
There's no update.
Okay, so I've just got a couple of points, if I may. I was on a call last week with Purcell, who are the architects who have been asked by Breckland to look at our conservation area, which those that have been around know that I've been banging on for years about it. And they were asked me to join them. So their proposal, I think, will be going out to consultation towards the end of the year, where everybody will have an opportunity to look at it. Those that don't know, the conservation area was put in place many years ago, not been really managed or made reference to. We as a town council have put forward various things that we would hope are adhered to by Breckland planners, but they are not built into that as planning law. So this is our opportunity to try and strengthen the conservation area. And so this will be the proposal to change the area and to make comments the likes of narrow yellow lines in the conservation area, black street furniture, doing building work in sympathy to the existing things. When it comes to the next stage, Breckland will then have to try and put a management plan in place. So Breckland councillors around here, you can be mindful of that. There is another stage that we need to get Breckland to sign up to. So that what I was going to come to was that I talked through the existing conservation area. There are a few little tweaks to the south. They're looking to bring in White City, that knows that, and the cottages down at the gas house, because the White City was one of the first council estates in Norfolk. So they feel that character needs to be maintained, which is quite interesting, and I'm happy to go with that. The Cannons Close end, it's talking about taking out the Cannons Close bit, which was in there before Cannons Close was built, because it's, you know, an area that pretty much can't be, but they also taken out the cannons, which I objected to. I felt we ought to keep the cannons in with school play as part of it. So nobody wants to go and build on school play. Is where I was coming from that. The other bit on the eastern side was bringing Melford Bridge into play, which at the moment is outside the conservation area, but excluding the modern properties along the line where the Bridge Public House is, because they've all been built since the conservation area was put in place. Otherwise, I thought it was quite a good document. The lady seems to be on board, and hopefully we'll have a chance to input to it, but I just thought I'd let you know that it's coming along, and it's nicely. I did send her our town council document, which we signed up to, so that's good. And the other thing was, I called today with Oliver Bone. For those that don't know, 2024 will be the centenary of the Ancient House Museum, and they're looking to put a lottery bid in to do some activities around that centenary, but also to do some work in redisplaying some of the internal things in the museum. The museum has been pretty much as it is now for about 20 years since they had the lottery money when they revised it. So they're looking up to about 200,000 bid to go in, which will be a mixture of activities over a 2-year period, as well as displays and that. And he asked whether we would put a letter of support in. And I said, well, I'm quite happy to, but I just slided by people that you're having me draw something to support that a little bit. Yep. Right. Thank you all very much. For quite a brief meeting, but thank you.